You folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I am your nerderator, Dustin House. Spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. You're going to find me every Tuesday and Thursday here at 12:15 Pacific time. So put it on the calendar and be here on LinkedIn Live. My guest today, Kristen Big Time Evans, coming in, and we're going to be talking about Affiliate Summit, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Kristen, how are we doing?
I'm great, Dustin. How are you?
Oh, I'm still recovering. We're almost there, about 90%. Unfortunately, I got the whole rest of the family sick, so they're going through that flu now.
Man, that conference crud can be brutal every time. I was only hit for a couple days, but every single time it just knocks you out.
Conference crud. And the bigger the event, the more likely you get it, and the worse it seems.
Yes,
It's going to
absolutely.
get you.
And Vegas never helps. Like walking around the casinos and the late nights, all of that just exacerbates it. So, yeah.
100%. The smoke, staying up late,
Yeah.
not taking care of yourself and starting to drink in the afternoon and through the night is never a recipe for a good thing. So, but we still keep on doing it. Whatever reason. I mean, you and I were both good for the first 2 days, right?
I mean,
like,
I think we were super tame for the entire thing comparatively, right?
Comparatively, yeah.
Like I remarked to Jessica Bishop, who I shared a room with, I was like, this is the first time I haven't been like hungover at Affiliate Summit. I managed to not get hungover any single day, which was amazing. But it was still a late night. So it was still like, just going. It turns into like a 17 to 20 hour day with just, talking to people and networking and events and like getting there and just the whole thing. So it's natural for us to be like completely wiped when we get back.
I hope so. And that's always my goal. I didn't want to get so depleted that I got sick, but so be it. It's the cost of admission, as I like to say. So,
Fair.
Well, we're going to be doing the live Q&A as always here. Our question of the day, I want everybody to answer it. Get in the chats and let us know, what was your favorite thing that happened at ASW? And I think that kicks off like where we want to go with this episode. And what is the best thing that you saw, Kristen?
The best thing that I saw, oh man, it was so much. I had just had such a good answer for you, but honestly, like the praying mantis that I saw in Fremont Street was amazing. I've never seen that before. The best thing I saw was when I went out to sushi with the Upsell It team, and Josh Modal crushed it with sushi ordering. Like he was on top of it, knew everything. He has a shellfish allergy, so he had to be kind of cautious with it. But he took that menu and just started spouting out orders, and the rest of us were sitting there like, this is a salesman in progress right here. Like,
he didn't order any sushi. He just took what he accepted.
Yeah, like, he was basically like, this is what I can eat. I eat this stuff all the time. I recommend it. Let's go. And honestly, like I want somebody to order my sushi for me like that every single time from here on out.
Fantastic. Like that. I think best thing I saw was maybe the best stage like presentation I've seen in years, maybe ever, from the team at ASW. Like just going in, I felt like the organization of the stage rooms was done pretty well this year. And just going into that room, it felt like it was a bigger conference, and I've never really had that feeling at going to Affiliate Summit like I do going to a or what used to be like traffic and conversion. It's a really good stage press, and they Clarion really brought that. So I was excited to see that.
Yeah, the session, I mean, you and I both emceed a couple sessions, and that was definitely a piece where I was like, wow, like they actually have MCs, and it's not just like, okay, the session's starting, which we've seen in years past. So there was a lot of really good organization. It was fun being up there and like being able to kind of see how they run it behind the scenes a little bit. So yeah, totally agree with you on that.
For sure. And I enjoyed my MC session. I'm glad you got in as well to jump in. Yeah. We got some comments here. Victor, big fan of the show. What's up? Everything is good, minus sickness, Victor. You know that. And Mike Carney coming in. ASW Essentials, business cards, hand sanitizers, lip balm, water, and sleep. Sleep is for the weak, Mike.
I think I had 2 out of the 5 there.
Yeah.
I had business cards and some sleep. Not enough water.
Still batting 400. I mean, yeah. There's water and booze, I believe.
Yeah,
we used to like to say in college. Yeah. All right. So that was best thing we saw. How about improvements from the last year's past? There's an easy way to like go about ASW and say like, oh, it's not what it used to be, and like, well, and Sean and Missy were there. Like,
I mean, Sean and Missy built such a great conference. What's been interesting is how Clarion's kind of taken that conference and evolved it. One of the things I definitely like with the new space, and I know there's a lot of chatter with the new space of like whether it's good, whether it's not. One of the things I like is that there's light and that you can easily access the outside. There are times, especially as somebody who does like, I'm an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert, whichever way that plays out. And there are times when I'm just like, I need to peace and get some fresh air. So it's really nice to be able to have that easy access to outside. I like that there's natural light that comes in, as opposed to like the faux sky of Paris. There are a lot of pieces. I love the stages, I loved that this year, as opposed to last year, there wasn't another conference literally smack dab in the middle of the event hall. Like, I don't know if you remember last year, but it was like affiliate summit, another conference, and then affiliate summit at the end. And it was all very confusing. It was very crowded. That did not happen this year.
Sure. Great call on that. Like they dedicated this whole entire stage area into affiliate summit. All the rooms were very clearly marked. I still had a little bit of issue on day one of like finding the meeting spots with some of them, and some of my meetings fell through because of it.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think it was a better situation than it all was last year. And the app, I think, improved. It's not like perfect yet, but it helped me like put together a really good calendar in the end.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like some of the meeting areas, I heard a lot of rumbling about people being like, what is foyer meeting area? How are you supposed to meet somebody there when it's basically just like a bunch of people at the bottom of the escalator? That one was a little bit difficult. And I think that having the VIP meeting room a mile and a half away from the VIP lounge was not necessarily the best play, because you did have to get up and walk all the way there. So I do hope that there are some more considerations about that going forward. But I also realized that the VIP meeting room was kind of a last minute addition based on the activity in the VIP lounge last year.
Very true. And I think that's necessary. Like you can just spend the whole day in the VIP room and like hang out with the other VIPs and have an incredible like networking event within the VIP section. It was really incredible. Well worth the admission price. I mean, I didn't pay for it. I got on stage and got a free VIP pass, but like for those of you like considering what network versus VIP would look like, that's well worth the cost of admission.
Agreed.
And speaking of schedule, this is what mine looked like. It was an absolute disaster. And
this stressed me out so bad when you posted this on LinkedIn, Dustin. Like I was having heart palpitations for you.
And I enjoyed it. I loved it. And I really want to do this to myself on day one because I know I'm fresh and people are going to get the best of me out of our meetings as well. So like, I'm not afraid of doing something like this, and we go there to network hard, and that's just what I did. But in reality, like the 20-minute back to back isn't a good fit like for anybody. These need to be 15 minutes and have a 5-minute gap. Mm-hmm. Like you have to be able to run to your next meeting, because my next meeting is never in the same room. And I think that's something that has to be evolved with the app for the next year.
For sure. One of the things that, in order to kind of avoid that, one of the things that I've been doing since I was a content creator, since I was a blogger, is finding
Okay.
somebody to kind of like double team meetings with. So I did it this year with Nick Marchese because we were hitting all the same publishers. We're basically on the same pitch. So there were a few days where he and I would just double down on meetings, and he would pitch the brands that he wanted to pitch. I would pitch the brands that I wanted to pitch, but we were able to fit it within that same time slot and really make it efficient for the publisher, which, honestly, it's kind of one of those, like, I'm trying to help you have the most productive conference that you're going to have. But Jessica Bishop and I have been doing that for years. When we were content creators, we would both basically pitch our blogs to the brands in the same meeting. And I've found that if you find that person that you can do that with, it's fantastic. I invited Karen Garcia from Lab 6 into one of my meetings, and like, it's so helpful. It's so efficient. But then also, if it's a situation where you're able to facilitate that introduction, obviously that's a value add for everybody without taking up additional time and creating additional legwork for people.
Yeah, that is such a smart, good veteran tip that I have never even considered or thought about double teaming with it. I'm just so hyper focused on getting as many meetings as possible that I haven't even thought about like teaming up with somebody. So super smart. Love that idea. Love that concept. Looks like Stephanie Robbins, great idea, Kristen. I would have thought of that. Stephanie didn't get to go. I like that the people that weren't able to go to this conference are the ones chiming in the most here because they didn't get to see it in action. So one last thing I will say on the improvements, I really liked the meetup areas. They made a vast improvement there. Like years past, they made that area like too small and it was just a little crowded, like trying to have the conversations. They made this a really big section and area for people to hang out, and really like their improvement there.
That's awesome.
Any last words on improvements?
I would say, the only other thing is like the lunch situation was really confusing. In years past, like VIP Lounge had kind of its own lunch situation, which was a lot easier to navigate. And this year, I think that it was kind of, I think it was a little bit lost in the confusion. There were tickets, but then there was like a concessions area where you could buy the lunch. And I think as a result, a lot of people ended up going off site for lunch because it just it wasn't communicated hyper well, and it wasn't exactly super organized. I feel like probably a lot of people felt the value for the food wasn't really there. And so they're like, let's just go elsewhere, which like, luckily we were right next to the High Roller. So we had access to a lot of great restaurants right there.
True. I do like the vicinity right there next to all that restaurants. It made it easy for our happy hour.
Yes.
Well. Awesome. All right. Now to the real category that means something. Best dressed. What do you got? Why don't you go ahead and go first?
There was a lot. Like I saw a dude in a lavender suit that I was like, hell yeah. But honestly, the way you looked the day that you emceed and then had your happy hour, I was like, hands down, buddy. Hands down. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. That's a true mic drop moment right there. That's what I'm talking
about. That's how you dress up. That's how you MC right there.
That is fashion, FASHUN fashion.
Well, that is very sweet of you to vote me. And so for me, best dressed, easy game. It has to be Kristen doing her Frankenstein out on the street. This is late night Kristen at her best.
Photo credit to Joel Garcia for sure on this one. I do have my trademark sparkly shoes that I wear to every single conference. I've been known for years to have a pair of sparkle shoes, #sparkle shoes. And my favorites this year were my glitter Chucks that I got for Taylor Swift last year. And turns out those are the perfect conference shoe. They're sparkly and you can wear them all day.
Great. You never show up. You're always dressed to impress. I always love the way you're coming in fancy everything.
Paresh.
Honorable mention. Paresh never ever every time. Like he wears a hockey jersey the best. He wears a hat the best. He has the most colorful shirts on earth. Like
A
never
true
just
fashion icon in the affiliate space for sure.
100%. Yes, absolutely. All right. Next category, constructive feedback for ASW. Anything you want to, we kind of hit on it a little bit, but anything else you want to add in here?
Yeah, I mean, I would, the lunch bit, I think, was definitely a piece of it. You know, I was really happy to see so many content focused sessions this year and
Oh,
less, you know, salesy kind of things.
okay.
That was something that was really refreshing and really nice to see. You know, the stage that I emceed, we had two really good back to back content pieces. One with a bunch of Meg Kernahan from Condé Nast, Kelly Curran and Jessica Leppi from Gen 3, and Jamie Zimmerman from Third Love. That was a fantastic one. And then the one immediately following that had Stephanie Apple from AWIN, Michelle Morgan from Acceleration Partners, and a couple of other great industry leaders. Cody Joy was on there from Impact Performance Academy. So that was those two were really good, strong takeaway sessions, which I feel like we've been missing a little bit over the last few years, where it was really like, oh, okay, that's something that I can go apply. So I loved seeing that. I realize this is constructive feedback. I'm just saying that this is positive. One of the things that I miss from the old days, as it were, is companies being limited to one speaker
Okay.
during affiliate summit. I think
Yeah.
that when, companies have multiple stage presences, it can be a little bit overwhelming and doesn't necessarily lead to as much prospective information as we can get. Like the message becomes a little bit saturated. So I would love to see that limited again, so that we can get a lot more new blood and a lot more fresh perspectives out there.
Great calls on that. And to that point, like if those of you out there that don't know, like if you buy sponsorship, you're essentially kind of buying your way up on the stage as well. So you can have your company representatives. And this is kind of a detriment to everything out there that is affiliate marketing, because that is limiting just to the folks that can afford to buy the sponsorship. Me and you are out there. We're not in a place where we can go and buy this kind of sponsorship to buy our way on stage. And that's disappointing to me, because, when I'm throwing out a session to offer to this audience, I'm trying to educate, and because those sponsors are so heavy on that side of getting them up on stage, that's taking away opportunities. So one of my biggest feedbacks here is the fact that a lot of the sessions that were scheduled just fell off the table. Like they just decided not to show up, or they're just not going to be there for that session, and they just fall off the schedule. Your MC session was a whole day slated, but you only had two things on stage that day. There was 6 slated in there, and 4 of them just the last couple of weeks didn't decide they weren't going to make it.
Yeah. Well, I know that there were travel issues on the front end of the
Sure.
show as well, with a lot of storms in the Northeast and Midwest. A couple of our friends got delayed by more than 24 hours. But yeah, I hear you. It did seem like there was some last minute scrambling, and then just like, scrap it, which I don't think is great communication or a good look necessarily.
No. And I would love to see them pick up the ones that didn't get accepted.
Yep.
And fill those slots. Like I could have a talk track ready to go in a matter of days, and I could fill in for that spot and still educate the folks and get them their money's worth for those that are attending for that kind of education. And like that just wasn't out there, or maybe they tried. I don't know. Like maybe they're just too busy because of the event coordination, whatever the case may be. Like there's just missed opportunity that I would like to see not happen. Like they should have backups and say, hey, guess what? Somebody backed out. You're in now. Like whoever the alternate, have an alternate list ready to go.
That's a great idea absolutely have an alternate list so that you're able to fill the slots and continue to bring that value to the attendees, especially those who are making the investment, not just in the ticket, but travel and lodging, et cetera, to be there. Like, make it worth their while. Otherwise, they are not likely to come back in the following years.
Yeah. Outside of that, I can't think of a ton others. I really loved their stack of like meeting rooms, so I could go to the VIP room and then run out to the assigned tables room.
Mm-hmm.
They were right next to each other. That was super convenient.
That was
I
really
want
smart.
that to stay. Want that to stay. That's got to be there. Like, just love that component of it.
Well, and having that next to like the network rooms too, Awen Charasail was right next to the VIP lounge, as was the Impact room. And for people who are regularly meeting kind of, at the meeting tables, and then with the networks, like that was so handy and convenient.
Very true. All right, and that's all I've got for constructive feedback there. I think they did a great job overall. Looks like Mike Carney's jumped in and he said with the question, is it true that ASW 25 is at Rio and in February?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So super fun fact, during the last part of my MC session, I announced that it is going to be back at Caesars Forum, and in January next year, tickets are already on sale.
Excellent. Okay, that's good to know. And I like the Caesars Forum. I heard a little rumblings of like people not enjoying it, but I gotta disagree.
I like it. I like that it's connected to 2 different hotels, so you can have your choice of Link or Harrah's. And honestly, the Link was great. I got a deluxe king suite for $61 a night. And
can't be.
It had 2 bathrooms. It was perfect. Like, I love that. And I mean, it's a really easy walk. Even if you're in like District 1, which is technically the farthest away, it's still a super easy walk, and you get your steps just by getting there.
Yep. For sure. And then Stephanie Robbins jumping back in, very common in conferences, loses credibility for the conferences in my eyes. I think she's talking about like the speaker presentations and like who they're choosing in the sessions. Good point there, Stephanie. All right, moving on. We did best dressed. We're going to go into the sponsor of the day real quick. And that is having to do with affiliate recruitment and something I'm very proud of and to be a part of, and that is AffyStash. AffyStash is your affiliate recruitment super tool. I am now officially in as the CMO and co-founder of AffyStash, and very excited to make this tool much better throughout the years. And you can get 5 free contacts. Use code ASW. Go to asw.affystash.com to go get your account and try this out for today. See if it works for your workflow. What are you using for? You're using AffyStash, right, Kristen?
Oh no, I'm using just manual recruitment. I mean, it's the way I've been doing it for ages, and honestly, like, it's tiring because it is a lot of work.
Well, maybe you should switch it up, and maybe you should be starting to use AffyStash. What do you think?
I mean, it sounds like I should make better choices.
Absolutely. You heard it
here.
Hey! AffyStash is a snake's pajamas. Kristen Evans. Thank you, Kristen, for your glowing endorsement. Appreciate you. All right, moving right along as we try to keep this to a 30-minute session today. That is not the the question I wanted to ask. Okay, best event. What'd you see out there?
Man, there was a lot. But honestly, the one that I had the most fun at was your happy hour, Dustin. That was a blast. Lots of really good people. Look at that. Look at that. How many people was it? Like 30, 40?
I mean, there was some rotation throughout the night, but like probably 50 altogether when all said and done. I was blown away by
it was so amazing. I loved seeing all those people there, so many people that you've had on the podcast, people that we've worked with through the PMA or just, various conversations. But yeah, it was just, that was super duper fun. I loved seeing you in your element, which you really were, which was super fun. when I was like, oh shit, we should get a picture, you were just like, oh, jump on the table. And that just was the whole vibe. It was amazing.
Yeah. We snapped off a few good photos there. There's one I absolutely love and cherish, that'll stick with me for a long time. And I just really appreciate all the support that I got. Like, you never really know who you touch by doing this kind of thing and producing this content. And when you throw an event and all these people show up, it really warms the heart. So
Yeah.
everybody that came by, really appreciate, and thanks for being there and hanging out.
What was yours? What was your favorite event?
My favorite event, this is 3 years running, the Impact Top Golf event. I absolutely love going out there and like going bay to bay and like pulling out the driver and just smashing a ball in front of, like, total strangers. Like, who is this guy? I'm like, oh, Dustin Howe. I was like,
I should watch you doing that more. I got pulled off to the Chandelier Bar because Missy Ward was over there and I wanted to see her. But yeah, this is the second year that I've heard you say that like Top Golf was your jam, and I feel like I've missed seeing you jive in that so much. I'm gonna have to just pay better attention next year.
It's a good time. I never miss that. And I even got to hang out with the wife and like some really old CJ friends from back in the day.
Love that.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Allison? That's Allison too, Sorrenzione. I love her.
Yeah, that is Allison. Yeah. So yeah, we got some great hang time with some old school folks, and take some drinks down. Just a good time.
Yeah,
Great
the
event.
food was really good there this year.
Really good food.
That was
Yeah,
good.
Entertaining, and there's a solid 200 people on that floor. Just walk around and you can run into a friend very easily and have a quick conversation. And it's not so loud that you can't hear each other, which is also very acceptable in my mind. And let's see, Victor's in here. He said, love what I'm seeing on this stream. Of course you do, Vic. Bring in those dollars. Whoop, whoop. All right. How about coolest new tool you learned about? What do you got?
Yeah. So I have you to thank for this one, of course.
Okay.
When you grabbed me in the VIP lounge and introduced me to Justin from True Letter, that was super awesome.
Great call.
Holy bananas.
Yeah.
And Justin, if you're watching this, yes, I owe you a message on LinkedIn. My inbox has been wild, man. But yeah, that was such a cool tool. I'm like, I was so blown away that I don't even think I can articulate exactly what it does, because I was just like, holy bananas, that's perfect.
That accidentally happened to be my first meeting of the day, and he scheduled it, and I'm like, absolutely, I'll check out a cool new tool. So let me try to explain it real quick for these folks. What's the name again? I forgot.
True Letter.
True Letter. I keep forgetting this and I don't know why, but his tool, it's in the beta phase. They're pre-revenue, but it's going to be really cool. So basically you take a blogger and you grab a series of their existing content, and you take that and you add it to AI, and AI will create a new piece of content with your brand. Let's pretend you're the affiliate manager working with this affiliate, but you haven't got a hold of them yet, right? It takes examples of that blog, takes their voice, and creates a new blog post for you in their voice, so that you can just hand this to the affiliate and recruit them at the same time. And what this is going to do is skyrocket conversion rate and reply rates on your outreach email as an affiliate manager. Like, if you're reaching out to somebody and you already have a piece of content ready for them in their voice that is optimized for SEO, lights out. Like, everybody's going to say yes. You're already doing them a favor, and you could just get this to them. It's so easy. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, especially as an affiliate manager, like, one of the things that I regularly do is provide kind of content prompts for a lot of like my blogger affiliates, obviously not so much media affiliates, but blogger and influencer affiliates. We're providing a lot of briefs, prompts, etc., sound bites. This really kind of takes that to a whole new level. I will definitely say, like, any affiliates who are accepting this content, make sure that you're judging it a little bit so that it's truly in your voice, and, you're editing so that it's still unique to you and authentic to you. But like, holy bananas, what a great way to A, pitch affiliates, but B,
Yes.
really help with the activation of affiliates that are struggling to create content. One of the things I do a lot of times with content partners is triage their content for optimizations. This is going to really kind of take away some of the pain of doing that, while also being able to spin up new content for new brands really easily.
Yeah. Yeah, super good choice. I have two others that I don't know if they're like going to be winners or not. One was Search Atlas. This is a new SEO tool that combines all the things that you do with SEO. It looked really cool. I'm excited to get on a live demo, but they were having a fresh demo in the booth and looked really cool. And then the other one was Connectio, which I'd never heard of, and they're a publisher recruitment tool that does competitive analysis on the brands that you're competing against.
Oh.
It'll find all of the affiliates that are joined to their programs, and it has this metric which I do not believe, but they have it there, and it was like how much revenue they're making as an affiliate for that brand. There's no
I feel like there's no way.
there's no way they can get that kind of magic into it. But I asked him about, hey, what's that metric right there? And he's like, that's an estimation, but like this is our algorithm, and they're fully funded. They've got a round of series funded, so they're well backed. They're out of Israel, but they are for enterprise clients only. Like their starting price point is $25,000 a year, like way out of any like place that I can be. But I'm going to be an affiliate of them and like suggest it to bigger brands that might need something like this in depth. But cool. I like where that technology is going. I have a much better price point at $100 a month, so I'm not afraid to like
hashtag happy stash.
But whatever. Like, Victor's saying True Letter sounds pretty cool. Intriguing opportunity here for sure. We're definitely going to co-market with them in some kind of capacity.
Yeah, I think that would be dope.
All right. And then last thing, best session. What do you got?
Yeah. So the two sessions that I emceed on Wednesday, I think were just like bananas good. The one with the Gen 3 folks and Meg from Condé Nast and Jamie from Third Love was like, I mean, it was, I think it was the powerhouse session because it was validating on the findings that I've, been finding as an affiliate manager, which is that truly like, in order to get the best placements, the best amplification with media partners, brands need to be prepared to have a budget, absolutely. Like organic is amazing and wonderful if you can get it, but to make that organic stretch even further, amplifying that content with budget is not only going to foster a deeper evergreen relationship with that media partner, but is going to effectively make that single investment so much bigger. It gives you a lot more room with that media partner to get your brand included in more content on both an organic and paid level. It does foster that relationship, but it also shows the partner that you're taking that partnership seriously, and you're not just trying to like scrape by with a link, and I think that was really interesting. It requires a lot of buy-in by shareholders and stakeholders. There's still a high level of affiliate education that needs to happen in order for that buy-in to happen, especially on the smaller, like medium, small and medium emerging brand size. But it was validating to hear that, yes, absolutely, budget is so helpful in ensuring that we're able to like land the content, land the relationship, and continue moving it forward.
Great call. Great content. Sounds like wish I could have been there. One session I got to MC a bunch of them, so I got some good education. I would say the toughest thing about MCing was not being able to butt in and like give my opinion. That was.
God. I was like standing in the back of the room. I'm like, I have stuff to say.
Can I say something? Can I use this microphone? Please.
I have a microphone right here.
The worst one was like they were talking about fraud and like they're missing some like a
Major
few
stuff.
big major points, and I was like, but outside of that, the sessions that I got to MC, which were great. I think I never miss anything Brooke talks about. Brooke is one of the smartest guys in this industry, and he talked about how to deal with every coupon site that you work with, and being able to fix the problem of still working with them, but keeping them in a certain capacity, and keeping your program diversified throughout your affiliate portfolio there. So super smart, actionable items that every brand can take and still work with FMTC and coupon and loyalty sites. That was my favorite of the day.
I love that. I do think that there's a lot of room for that. And it's great that he's educating on it, because I feel like that's one of the very big kind of misconceptions about those partners. And that's a conversation that I have with brands all the time, is like, they're foundational. They can be really key to driving a lot of the early optics of a program. So I love that Brooke addressed that.
Yeah, and it's something he faces every day with FMTC and that wonderful platform that they have there. All right, as we wrap this up, any final notes that you want to, or do we tap into everything here?
I would say my big final note is I did something new this year, aside from losing my phone, which I've never done. My big thing this year was that I got airport hang time both on the front end and back end with friends, and that made the whole thing like extra special to me. Being able to meet up with you and Sarah and Karen and Joel at the airport here, and then us all flying together. That was great. I loved that. It kind of set the vibe off the right way. You know, it was like really was like a positive, fun way to begin the trip. And then on the way back, Jessica and I had our flights pretty close together. And so we got to do airport hangs on the end. And that was a really good, fun way to kind of decompress and wrap up, you know? So yeah, it was cool. And it was not like just like, you know, extraneous people. Like it was with some of my closest friends. And I think that was really, I don't know, that the whole thing, I felt really kind of good and positive this year. Last year was scary. I launched Spark Partnerships at ASW last year. So this was our 1 year anniversary. And I just felt so much better going into it this year. And I think a lot of that is the community and the support system that I've had around me. So thank you. And thank you, Sarah and Joel and Karen, Nick and Jessica. I'm not going to thank Nick. Don't tell him I said that. But yeah, that was huge for me this year. So, you know, as always, like lean on your people. It's a relationships-based industry, and my best relationships have come out of this industry.
Yeah, I got to witness you trying to deal without your phone for a full day, and that was heartbreaking for me to watch, because you had all your meetings and like you can't see your schedule anymore. Like I don't even know how you got to your meetings, or like how you knew where to go.
I managed it, but
you managed to make it happen somehow, which was really impressive. And but I've been so proud of you throughout this year, of like the steps you've taken and the grinding that you've been doing, and watching you in action out there at ASW just made me so proud of you. And I'm so glad we got some hang time together as well on the front end. And like, I'm never going to have anything on the back end. Like I'm completely exhausted all of the
when I called you on Friday night, you're like, that's not happening. And I was like, okay.
You tried to get me to go to the bar like after the conference. I'm like, I am gone. Leave me alone.
I heard it in your voice. I was like, okay, bye. Have a good flight.
But I appreciate you trying.
I will always try.
All right. Let's wrap this up. Kristen, thanks for joining me and talking ASW. For all those folks out there interested in going, I'll probably put a link in the description so you can sign up for next year. But
and don't forget, if you sign up for the PMA, you get free or discounted tickets, and it's worth it.
It pays for the price of admission every PMA year that you are a member. It'll pay for its ticket for ASW, which is worth the price of admission. So go into it, join the PMA, and happy recruiting out there, folks. Take care.
Bye.